Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take a random character, random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with it. Hope you're all doing well. Let's see what the game has for me today. We've got the Technomage. Technomage, pretty difficult with random weapons. This character does get the additional turrets, which help a lot with your early game clear speed, no matter what weapon you have, but relies pretty heavily on the combination of elemental and structure damage, so depending on what weapon we get, this could be pretty difficult. Let's roll and see what we've got, and we've got the Taser. I'm not thrilled by that, because it's going to make it hard for us to just get enough damage to clear enemies, and without defensive stats, and this character has a real struggle with defensive stats because you level much slower. What is my turret? Why was it shooting straight down there? Did you see that? It was shooting straight down away from the enemies. We did not make that much money on the first wave. I was trying to pull the enemies into our turrets, but we only ended up with 51. Luckily, we are a support weapon, so we should be able to make up for that pretty quickly. I'm going to take the boiling water for sure, because I want elemental damage. It increases our structure attack speed, and boosts our tasers as well, and then I will roll and pick up another taser. Snake is pretty interesting here. The burning damage from Snake... if we got Scared Sausage, then the burning damage could be good. Given that we don't have one, though, I'm just going to keep rolling for tasers and items that help us out a little more in the near term. Taser is really good if we find Scared Sausage, I think, because then we're just kind of mage, but with some constructs already and some construct synergy. If we don't find Scared Sausage, then we will struggle a little bit more. I don't remember if I've actually played Technomage on this channel since the changes to Technomage, because there have been a lot of changes to this character since the beta. It used to have a lot of different penalties. Instead of having lower XP gain, it had increased item price, which was much worse. I was one of the people who agitated pretty heavily to change that. So I'm glad that they did, because that meant that you couldn't really do the cool synergy things between elemental damage and engineering, and now you can, and that's much more fun. I'm going to roll here for harvesting, roll again. I missed twice. I'll just take attack speed. Attack speed is really helpful with our tasers, of course. They're a very slow attacking weapon, so they benefit a lot from extra attack speed. And then I will roll by another one, and keep rolling. With the support weapon tag, of course, we want to get that online as soon as possible to max out our harvesting as early as we can. The elemental damage from the elemental tag does, for some reason, count as permanent damage, permanent elemental damage, so it increases our construct attack speed. The game is very unclear in general. The game is very unclear in general about what counts as permanent damage and what doesn't. I would like to see them fix those tooltips, because right now they're a little bit confusing, I think, for a lot of players, and for me as well, even despite having put hundreds of hours into this game. So if they could fix those, I think that would be a big step towards clarity. It's one of the few ways in which Brotato lets down players with poor tooltip work. I'm going to pick up the elemental damage here, and then we will pick up the support and elemental tags maxed out, which is awesome, because that means that we not only have our full harvesting, we also have the maximum damage and better construct attack speed. Take more elemental damage, more armor and engineering, and Terrified Onion. I really don't like losing luck, but we get a free reroll here. Buying move speed is pretty important, so I'm going to pick that up, and then we will lock all of these and go to wave 4. I shouldn't actually, when I saw that this turret was spawning, I should not have run to the left there, because I knew that the turret would kill that enemy. I did not need to run over and do it myself. So I actually gave up a very small amount of clear speed by not letting my turret do the work for me. Obviously, when you're playing a game like this, you want to maximize laziness. Always let something else do the work for you, rather than having to do it yourself, if you possibly can. It's the strategy I was born to employ. We're making very good money at this point because we have the 2 extra constructs and we have the support weapon tag. Let's roll here, and I'll take 5 more harvesting, pick up the coupon, upgrade our taser, and grab a lemonade. Let's roll again. Clockwork Wasp, obviously amazing. We love construct attack speed, so even though our structures are getting a lot of attack speed from our bonus elemental damage, we've got 45 already, we can add in even more with the Clockwork Wasp bonus as well. Yeah, let's just pick that up. We'll lock the duct tape, and then we'll roll again. Take the alien worm. I feel like losing consumable heal is a real penalty for this character, but I do want as much regeneration and HP as we can get early. And the ugly tooth, I passed on it earlier, but right now I want it because slowing enemies even further in combination with the slow effect that the Taser provides will really shut down this elite. We do have a wave 11 elite, so we need to plan around how to survive when we're fighting against that guy. I could re-roll once for 6 materials. We are guaranteed this is always going to be a weapon, so the chance of it being a taser is fairly high. I think for 6 materials, though, it's not worth trying to lock a taser there. That's just a fairly expensive re-roll at this point. So we're currently level 5. One advantage that we have is because we are a support weapon build, we've got the harvesting to help us offset the XP penalty that Technomage gets. Now, if I can find some XP gain items to make that a little easier, then we'll be, I think, in great shape. Now, make sure we kill that buffed clam, because it's just too dangerous. 2 cursed floaters is probably... We probably just don't have the damage to kill both of those, although I say that and then we immediately do. So, more fool me. Let's take more elemental damage here. I've got 40 harvesting already, so I don't really need to roll for that. I could take armor, but I just want to make sure I've got as much damage as possible. And this also improves our construct attack speed as well. We will continue to buy all these items we have locked. I'll take the injection. Although the damage doesn't apply to our turrets, the turrets are really just there to help with early game wave clear, and then we're going to transition to our tasers doing most of the work. So just making sure that we have high percent damage is important for this character. We'll lock the lure, of course, and then roll. Lock a taser. Wow, that is an early peacock. I'm going to take it. When we get a peacock this early, this can fully offset the XP gain penalty for the Technomage. Not entirely, but it will really help next wave, and then it makes it significantly better in waves past that. And this early, although it is a little risky, the peacock will be just so much value over the course of the run that I'm very happy to take it. And I don't think that we're in too much danger of dying on wave 7. Our tasers should be able to protect us. Just gonna drink some water. I do need to be quite careful about these pufferfish. They're very dangerous because they will always generate the 8 projectiles. So I do need to be wary of those. I dodged that projectile perfectly, like a pixel perfect dodge, and then just ran back into it. Classic plays. But we made 200 materials on wave 6, which is really good income for the Abyss, so I'm very happy about that. Take more elemental damage, of course. Knockback is good for tasers, so losing knockback is a real penalty, because knocking back enemies and slowing them can help you stay alive. But elemental damage is just so important to this character, we're always going to grab it. Here I'm just going to take 8 harvesting. I don't think we want to build dodge early. I just don't have the HP to support dodge yet. So I'm going to focus on making sure that I've got my economy and damage online and my max HP and everything as well. We'll take Taser, Peacock, and Lure. Blindfold, I will lock. Taser actually crits for ×2. So once you level it up and it's firing a lot of attacks, the bonus critical damage is actually worth a lot. So critical hit is not terrible, and Blindfold is just a really efficient item. We will buy Corrupted Shard, of course, and I'll lock Frozen Heart as well. Increasing our damage scaling on tasers is awesome because they fire multiple projectiles as you level them up, and that 10% damage scaling gets added to every projectile, so it's going to increase our damage a lot. Plus, obviously, 8 elemental damage is ridiculous. Even if this does end up hurting our burning damage, if we find an incendiary turret or a scared sausage, we're totally fine with that. I'm going to reroll once here because I'm hoping to find more tasers, but I'll lock a bunch of percent damage as well. I need to remember that we've got Peacock this wave, and with only 16 max HP, I definitely could die here. I think we survive 1 hit, but not 2. So I need to be really careful. Yeah, so we survived that 1 hit, because I walked right into the enemy after saying I needed to be careful. A classic move, as always. And try to play around my turrets here. I need to make sure I get both loot alien kills, though. So I need to keep an eye out for the second one spawning, because we did buy a lure. Trying to kill the walrus here. I'm very lucky that we didn't get excellent band name Cursed Walrus, because the walrus just almost one-shot. Maybe the Cursed Walrus would have killed me in 1 hit. We're not going to get the second loot alien because I took that hit, so bad movement definitely cost me there. Maybe I should have saved the lure for the next wave after the Peacock, because I took all that damage, and the Peacock forced me to play much more carefully. So if I had saved the lure, I probably could have killed both. As is, I did not manage to. Let's roll here, and I'm just going to take max HP. I definitely need more of that. We'll pick up some luck to fix our luck as well. I'm going to buy the Frozen Heart, and I will take head injury. I'll leave the injection locked, but I don't want to lose too much max HP. Let's roll here again. Definitely buying the medical turret. We get elemental damage for buying constructs, so every construct we see, of course, we're going to buy. And that's a decent amount of healing for us. Alright, well, the Frozen Heart, of course, gives us a ton more elemental damage, which is also a ton more construct attack speed, and gives us more crit chance, gives us higher damage scaling, so basically the best thing we could possibly have found. Really glad I didn't die there just by walking into that walrus. Very weak movement mechanics from me last wave. Usually, I would not take as many hits as I did there, so... Important for me, I think, to recognize that I am not playing super well from a mechanical standpoint in this run. And we can play around that by taking fewer risks and making safer purchases. That's something that I think you can and should do, is recognize when you are sort of on and when you're not, when you're playing well and when you're not. And obviously you can do your best to play better, but some days you are just going to be playing worse because of, you know, like you have maybe different relaxation levels in the muscles of your hands, or you're tired, or you didn't eat well, or anything along those lines. And you can still play around those drawbacks. Let's roll here. Take elemental damage, and I'm just going to take 3 armor. I do need more HP, but armor is more important. We'll take the blindfold, injection, and medical turret. Boxing glove, so I could buy knockback, because I talked about knockback being good for this character, but we already have -3, so I don't really need more. Toxic sludge and penguin I'm definitely taking, but I'll take the penguin first, because the curse is going to be valuable for finding more items. Let's go ahead and lock all of this stuff, because this is all really good, and go straight to wave 9. Really solid shop there with a cursed item and then 3 items we wanted. Gonna kill the Hatter there. Our damage is fine on this character, but more damage. We do want to remove some HP from the field, because I am concerned about just not having quite enough damage to kill everything. So I might let one set of slashers spawn, but I wanted to kill the first Hatcher to make sure that we could keep clearing the wave effectively. I'd love to fix my consumable heal. We bought 2 alien worms, and so only 2 consumable heal is always really challenging. But I needed those alien worms for our max HP, which was very low. Okay, got that kill on the loot alien. It did cost me some damage, so I'm going to have to play a little more carefully. We'll run over here and let our medical turret heal us back up. Did not make great money that wave, and that is going to be the problem, is that our wave clear is going to suffer because we are playing a support weapon. We also, Taser is a weapon that really wants to level up, and we have not found any levels for it, so finding those is going to be pretty important. Attack speed is awesome here. I'm going to take that. I'll take the baby gecko. Jerky, always an amazing item, and it totally fixes our problem with consumable healing. I'm going to pass on the gambling token. I think that this build really wants to build core stats more. I don't really think we need to focus on dodge, so I'd rather just not lose armor and spend a bunch of money here. Then we'll take some % damage and some max HP. Obviously, we don't care about the melee damage, but we will spend 98 on 5 max HP for the muscly dude. Losing range on tasers is actually a real downside because they're a very short range, ranged weapon. Range has half effect on melee weapons, but full effect on ranged weapons. So if we lose a lot of range, then our tasers will end up actually being really short ranged. So we might want to offset that later, but for now, we're fine. I will say the fact that we haven't found any taser upgrades is starting to concern me. This is a weapon that really needs to be upgraded in order to do damage effectively. And the fact that we have not found upgrades is definitely going to be a problem. Some form of piercing shots would be really nice as well. Taser benefits a ton from that, so if we could find piercing, that would be awesome. I wouldn't mind a little bit of lifesteal as well, just to give us more reliable healing. I'm going to run away from those lampreys and just kind of let my constructs pick them down before I focus damage on them. And then we'll work our way back around and kill these curse aliens, because I killed that blobfish, but we don't have to fight the lampreys directly. Definitely losing a lot of clear speed here because of my low damage setup, but that's always going to happen. Unless I get scared sausage, the turrets are going to struggle to contribute. Incendiary turret's a great find as well. Even with the slower burn time, because we have Frozen Heart, Incendiary turret's just going to be super effective. I'm actually going to take 3 lifesteal here. I do want a little bit of lifesteal that will help us survive as well, and take more HP, damage, leveled up weapons, finally, and more elemental damage as well. Alloy is interesting. It gives me a bunch of stats we want. We want both engineering and elemental damage, so and crit chance, and we don't care about losing dodge. So I'm going to take the alloy. We'll lock the injection. I'll throw in a reroll here. I'm going to take Cyclops Worm as well. You can see that our defensive stats are suffering because of Technomage's XP gain penalty. Normally in Brotato, you gain most of your defensive stats from level ups, because typically that's the more efficient way. It's easier to get those from leveling up than it is from the shop. So the fact that Technomage levels much slower means that you often don't get any XP gain or any defensive stats compared to other characters. I'm going to take the baby elephant. We don't have a lot of luck right now, so it's not that good, but we do just want anything that does more damage, so I think we can benefit from that. I'm going to try to kill this elite, I think. We've got good damage to single targets with our tasers, and we have our constructs, which can help out as well. The incendiary turret normally would be excellent at contributing DPS to this, but because we have Frozen Heart, it's a lot worse. But it's still pretty good. So I've taken a lot of hits there, so I need to be pretty careful. Wait for the jerky to heal me back up. Almost walked into that and died. Alright, I'm going to not fight this elite, actually. Changed my mind, we're running away. And this is a case where, because my movement was bad, and I know that I'm not playing super well, I'm going to change my mind and choose not to fight the elite, to play around the limitations of sometimes you're just mechanically playing less well. Survival there brought to us by Jerky. If I hadn't had that, then I definitely would have died, because the consumable healing was super important to keep me alive there. Take the tentacle, and we'll take some more armor. Attack speed would be nice as well, but the armor's really good. Let's pick up more damage output and keep rolling. More elemental damage as well. Piggy bank, we're going to pass on. We don't have any need for the piggy bank. My harvesting should be enough economy to keep us alive, so that will be fine. Scared sausage, great again, even though we have Frozen Heart, which is slowing the burn damage. This makes all of our constructs do way more because they're going to light enemies on fire. So that's going to help out a ton. And it is 60 damage per tick, so even if it ticks slower, it's going to be a lot of extra wave clear for us. Yeah, the incendiary... Maybe I shouldn't even have taken the incendiary turret. We don't have that much engineering. So I don't I don't really care that much about the incendiary turret damage. And normally incendiary turret base damage is really good, but with Frozen Heart making it do half damage, and it's half damage in a way that makes it even less than half as effective, because slowing the tick speed of the damage means that often I'll have just had to hit that enemy with something else before the second tick happens. So not only does it actually do half as much damage, it's even worse than that, because it often will mean it absorbs another attack from another one of my weapons, because it ticks slower. So it's costing us even more than the damage it normally would to have that happen. Snowball's going to be great. We'll buy pretty much any elemental damage we see. We'll take the 4 armor here, and Scared Sausage and Cyclops Worm. Roll. I'll grab a fish hook as well. I'll keep taking % damage, and then we'll keep rolling. We'll lock a coupon, lock a pearl. My consumable heal is +2, so I'll lock Alien Worm as well. I wish that White Flag, if you got it cursed, then it would reduce the negative enemies penalty. But of course, people believe that the advantage of this item is that it reduces the number of enemies on the field, but that's actually a huge disadvantage. Let's just go to the next wave here with 3 items locked. So now with Scared Sausage, our turrets are going to be doing a lot more. Even with the half-speed ticks on the Scared Sausage, it does just mean way more damage that our constructs are able to do. Looping back through there to pick up all those materials and making sure to kill as many of the buff aliens as we can relatively easily, because I don't want too many things to get buffed. Unfortunately, the mini-boss didn't spawn. I did kill it in time. Kill the tower in time. If the tower got buffed there, I was very worried about just not being able to kill the tower before the mini-boss spawned. And this character does suffer against the mini-bosses. Would really love piercing shots. That would make such a huge difference for this character. I'll take the coupon. Of course, this is going to be a lot of saved materials. Since it didn't get cursed, I'm not going to buy the pearl, but I will buy Alien Worm. Keep on rolling. All right, we're definitely taking Sharp Bullet. We're thrilled to have that. Take the Taser. Take the Weird Food. I think I will still buy the Cog. Engineering isn't that important, but we do have a decent number of constructs, so the engineering can still help them kill stuff a little faster. And then we're going to lock all of these items. Would I buy a Cursed Bone Dice? I probably would, so I'm just going to lock everything here. I'd love an eye surgery to get at least a little bit more burning speed back. Plus, it's an elemental item, so it works with the snowball. Elemental damage item, so it works with the snowball. Now that we have the Sharp Bullet, a pumpkin is one of the better things we could find. I mean, really the thing that we need is just levels on our tasers, which we have really struggled to get this run. Which I'm surprised by. Usually that's not that difficult, because it's a relatively small weapon category. $400 materials, we definitely could be doing better, but this is still okay. And I'm just going to keep buying armor. Now that we have 16 armor, it's a lot harder for us to die. Come on. Come on, Fishhook. Nothing cursed, and we're going into a horde wave. I'll take the metal. I'll take the cauldron as well. I'm not going to buy bone dice because it's not cursed. I'm going to lock the lure because... and buy the medical turret for healing, and also because it gives us elemental damage. I'm going to lock the lure because we're going into a horde wave. I don't think that we're going to be able to kill the loot aliens reliably during a horde wave. Just too much stuff on the field to absorb shots. So we're going to wait until next wave to pick up the lure. I would love Pocket Factory. I'd love anything that landmines. More scared sausages would be really nice as well. There's a lot of enemies here, and our damage output is still just not very high. Our attack speed is pretty bad, which is part of it. I did pass that early snake. The snake would be going pretty hard here because it would be helping to spread our fire around. But mostly we're just spreading out our damage a lot between all of these enemies, so we're not actually focusing down anything in particular. And with our very low attack speed, it's making it quite difficult for us to finish off any kills. And with our low weapon levels, we're really struggling to make that happen. Definitely going to take some more damage here. I really need more damage. Okay, awesome. 4 extra loot aliens from the lure. We'll take a fuel tank as well. We'll take lifesteal. I do need more HP, so I'm going to buy the muscly dude here. Lock a taser. Maybe I get a cursed taser. I think I'd better take the gummy berserker also. I've got minus 89 range, so you can see our weapons are having... Part of what the issue is that our range is really, really low, so we're having trouble shooting all the time. I need to play a little closer to the enemies to make sure I'm actually shooting with every weapon. I think that was part of why my wave clear was low last wave. I wasn't playing around the low range we have. We're functionally a melee build, so I just need to play as though we are one. Yeah, actually, our wave clear is getting a lot better now that I'm just playing in range of my weapons, so I needed to adapt to that, to the low range earlier. I am going to still buy Gummy Berserker because attack speed is really good, and having to play this close to enemies is a little dangerous. But the problem wasn't... I imagine there's a number of comments saying that the problem was that we didn't buy range. The problem wasn't that we didn't buy range, it was that I wasn't playing around our low range. I didn't adjust my play to what was actually happening in the game. So now that I am, you can see that we're no longer having those problems because I just changed how I was playing. I'm gonna take the baby squid. Yeah, that... I'll probably get like 2 levels, so do I do 2 regen? We might get 3 levels. If I get 3 levels, I'm happy with it. If I only get 2, it's not great, but I'll take it and hope that we get there. Recycling the gambling token still. I'll take more luck. Another scared sausage is awesome. That's going to do a lot of damage. I do need more regeneration. Do I need it more than 7 crit chance? Probably. Our healing is terrible right now, so I really need to fix that. I'll take all of these items. Even though the Gummy Berserker didn't get cursed, we have 18 armor, so I think we can afford that. And I do need more attack speed. Pumpkin, of course, is amazing. Let's pick up a snake as well, and then roll. Nice, got a lot more items. What's our fishhook pity bonus on? Oh, I guess we got the lure cursed, so the pity bonus got reset. But this fishhook has again been terrible. Classic fishhooks. So I've got a little more range now. I don't need to get quite as close, but I still need to get really close to enemies. Yeah, I could have got a lot more money in that horde wave if I'd paid attention to how much I'd reduced my range. I was playing around like the normal range of the weapon, but I just needed to get a little closer. It occurs to me that that's actually part of why people might value range so much more highly than they should, is that if you aren't adjusting your play to the range of your actual weapons, but are always playing as though you have lots of range, then range is going to have more of an impact on your play than it actually should, because you aren't playing correctly. So it might feel like it's hurting your character more than it actually is, as you saw there, because I wasn't playing around it. Did we again not get anything cursed with the fishhook? Yep. Classic. We'll take the metal plate though, and Cyclops worm. I'm still gonna keep upgrading our tasers, even though they're not cursed. It's very important to do that. I'll take the pencil. We currently have 1 piercing with minus 55% damage. I could get a second pierce with the eye patch. I don't think it's that important to do that, so I think I'm going to recycle or pass on the eye patch. I'll lock the acid and try to get that cursed. I'll roll. I'll lock the glass cannon. We'll buy the book. I'll roll again by plant, and we'll lock whetstone, and see if we can use our 20% pity bonus to try to actually get some items here. Run away, use our garden and our medical turret to heal back to full, and then look how slow the elite is. So here I'm just playing really close to it, playing around our low range. I took a couple hits, so now I'm backing off. But we've got really good armor, so I can afford to play this close to the elite. Taking a few hits, going to use my medical turrets, and again, our consumable healing. So even though my movement wasn't great there, we've managed to build the character very defensively to play around less than stellar movement. Really important, I think, for maintaining the win streak, too, because I'm doing these runs. I mean, this one I'm playing pretty late at night, after I usually would. I'm doing these runs over, many, many days, so I'm gonna have on days and off days and whatever. I need to be able to play consistent if we want to maintain a win streak. Obviously, we're gonna take Ricochet, even though it's not typically great with Pierce. It's just so much fun that I'm gonna grab it. We'll pick up the weird ghost, and yeah, let's take the damage over the armor. I've got 20 armor already, so I do want more damage. The cursed acid is amazing, and we can fix our damage penalty we just got from the Ricochet by buying the glass cannon. Roll here. I'll lock all of these to try to get them cursed and go to wave 19. I should have run towards the garden a little sooner, because then we'd have healed up much faster. Now you can see we're full health. With the weird ghost, we just want to heal back up to full before we take too much damage. And now I've got quite a lot of damage because I've finally leveled my tasers. And we've got like the Frozen Heart and everything, so our attacks are actually doing a lot. I don't know if we're gonna have enough to kill the bosses. Killing the bosses is very difficult for elemental and engineering builds, and Technomages both, so you often will not kill elites and bosses with this character. But we're gonna see what we can do. Take the duct tape here. I'll take the goldfish. We can maybe get a really high level item. And then I'll take 9 max HP. Now we're at 76 max HP, so that's much better. Going up to 15 lifesteal is also going to keep us alive much more effectively. I'm worried if I buy the alien magic that I won't be able to buy whatever we reroll into with the goldfish. So I think I'm actually going to pass on this and reroll, just in case we get something really awesome going into the last wave. Of course, we missed. That's the problem with goldfish, is sometimes it does actual nothing. I could reduce my crit chance. I think I'm just going to roll here. Bloody Hand and 2 more tasers. Surely the Bloody Hand is correct, rather than upgrading our weapons. Weapon upgrades are really good, but this is a huge amount of bonus damage and survivability, so I think the Bloody Hand is going to take it, and then we'll take glasses. That'll let us play a little more easily around the bosses, because we won't have quite as limited range to play with. Alright. So we do have the Bloody Hand. I do need to be a little careful there, but I love Ricochet. It's so much fun. I like that we've slowed the whale boss so much that we did not see it for the first, like, 15 seconds of the wave while I was fighting the snake boss, because we have tasers, so our Ricochet shots were bouncing to it and slowing it, and we have Ugly Tooth, so it was getting slowed even more. Taser and Ugly Tooth is really good against this boss specifically because it makes its charges slower, so we don't have to dodge as effectively in order to kill it. And we did, in fact, kill it. All right, well, that was pretty fun. I was pretty worried when I was getting down to like 1 HP many times in the early game, and when we weren't finding any taser level ups, but we got there in the end, and it was an interesting challenge to play around. I was just playing worse than usual. I was moving mechanically worse than I usually do. So it was interesting to try to build the character to survive that, and we did with all of the armor that we were able to pick up and all the regen and lifesteal that we were able to pick up in the end. Taking a look at our items here, I think that this was too many alien worms. I think that's part of the problem we had was I reduced my consumable healing. I've been trying to buy this item less. It seemed good because we had low max HP and needed to buy max HP, but maybe the answer was to buy just fewer. Maybe I shouldn't have bought injections, because I bought 3 of those as well, and that lowered my max HP in the early game. So maybe I should have just skipped on those and the alien worms, and then we wouldn't have had that problem. Duct tape we should still buy because the armor and engineering are really good. We made 400 materials from the coupon. Peacock was really good. It got me to level 19, which you usually won't hit on the Technomage, but because we had all that XP gain, we made it to level 19. Buying it and the lure in the same wave, that was a mistake, as I mentioned at the time, so I should have waited one wave to buy the lure and we'd have gotten another item out of it. The Frozen Heart was an amazing find. The medical turrets were really good. Lots of healing off those. Coffees were great. Jerky saved us a million times. The Incendiary turret ended up not as good as I thought it would be, but of course you still buy it on the Technomage. But the Frozen Heart really does hurt this item a lot. Even more, it's even more impactful than it looks like it's going to be. Tentacle wasn't bad. We made a decent amount of healing off of it, and crit chance was pretty good for this character because Taser does crit for 2x, so buying crit chance is a totally reasonable way to increase your damage. The baby elephant I think we could have skipped on. I didn't end up doing any sort of luck-based stuff, so we could have skipped that. Only 2 elemental damage from the snowball. Snowball so consistently underperforms. I'm always disappointed when I buy this item. But 70k damage from the scared sausages, so those worked well. Sharp Bullet was good. Not as good as it could have been, potentially, because we just didn't have that much damage early, but it still helped us with wave clear a lot. And what else? The Cursed Lure was obviously great. Baby Squid, only 2 regen. I probably could have skipped on that. And the Ricochet was just super fun at the end, and Bloody Hand as well. Alright, my friends, I hope that you've enjoyed this run. This was the Technomage, and we have maintained the win streak despite my best efforts. So, as always, of course, if you have enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit that like button. Helps me out with the algorithm. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.